Hey everyone, so imagine this. Your record label is right there, at the very center of your entire universe as an artist, and they're taking a cut from, well, everything. That right there is the 360 deal. And believe me, for years it has been one of the most talked about, most debated contracts in the entire music industry. So today we're going to break down exactly what makes it so controversial.
Yeah, really think about that for a second. We're not just talking about your album sales. We're talking about your concert tickets, the t-shirts you sell at shows, even the cash you might make from a sponsored post on Instagram. Everything. That's the whole idea behind the 360 deal, and it was a total game changer for both artists and labels.
So you got to ask, how did we even get here, right? Why would a deal like this even exist in the first place? Well, to really get a handle on the 360 deal, we actually need to rewind the clock, back to a time of, honestly, absolute crisis for the music business.
Okay, so picture this. Late 90s. Labels are basically printing money, selling CDs. It was a golden era. But then the internet happened. Suddenly, you've got piracy running wild, digital downloads totally gutting physical album sales. The whole model just collapsed. That fire hose of cash, it got turned off like overnight. The labels were in a full-blown panic. They needed a new way to make money, and they needed it fast.
And see, that is the most crucial thing to understand here. The 360 deal wasn't dreamed up because everyone wanted some kind of deeper, more beautiful artistic partnership. Nope. It was born out of pure financial desperation. It was a survival tactic, plain and simple, for an industry watching its main moneymaker just evaporate.
Okay, so what is a 360 deal really? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this solution actually works.
Well, they call it a 360 deal for a reason. It's meant to cover the full 360-degree circle of an artist's entire career. See, old-school record deals, they were all about the music sales. That's it. But this new type of contract, it gives the label a percentage of, well, everything. And I'm not kidding when I say everything. I mean everything.
And the scope here is just massive. We're way beyond just music. We're talking about revenue from touring and live shows, the t-shirts and hoodies you sell, brand partnerships, publishing royalties, endorsements, heck, even acting gigs or money from your social media. Basically, if an artist becomes a brand, the label gets a slice of that whole pie. It's an incredibly far-reaching deal.
Now, from the label's point of view, the logic is pretty straightforward. Their argument goes something like this. Hey, we're the ones spending all this money on marketing and promotion. We're the ones turning you from a musician into a valuable brand. So if we build the brand, we should get to share in all the profits, not just the record sales. It's pitched as this big, all-encompassing investment in the artist.
But, and this is a big but, here's where things start to get really complicated. Partnership sounds great, right? But in the real world, it can often feel, well, pretty darn one-sided. And this right here is the absolute core problem with so many 360 deals. A label might take, say, a hefty 20% cut of all your touring revenue, but contribute $0 to actually funding that tour. Nothing for the bus, the crew, the venues. Then they might take another 15% of your merch sales without helping design a single t-shirt or paying for any of the distribution. The artist is doing all the work and taking all the risk, and the label just collects a check. That doesn't really sound like a partnership, does it?
So what's the real cost of an imbalance like that? For an artist who's just trying to build a career, what's the actual real-world impact on their bank account and their future?
Think about it. An artist's income is already a pie that's being sliced up by a ton of people. You've got your manager, your agent, your business manager, and of course, good old taxes. Now, you add the label's 360 cut on top of all of that, taking a piece from every single income stream, and suddenly the slice of the pie left for the artist gets really, really small. It makes it incredibly hard to actually make a living, even for artists who look super successful from the outside.
And, it goes deeper than just the money, too. These deals can create this immense, long-term financial strain. It also kind of blurs the lines of who's responsible for what. Like if a tour doesn't do well, whose fault is it? The artists or the labels for not stepping up with support? For a young artist, signing one of these can feel like you're signing away control of your whole future before your career has even had a chance to start.
But it's not all doom and gloom. The most important thing to remember is that artists are not powerless here. There are absolutely ways to negotiate these deals to make them fairer and more balanced. So let's open up the artist's playbook, shall we?
Okay, here are 4 really key strategies. First off, negotiate every single income stream separately. If the label wants 20% of your tour money, fine, but they better be actively involved in helping that tour succeed. Number 2, put a cap on how long it lasts. The label has no business collecting money from your t-shirt sales 10 years down the road. Third, you have to demand transparent accounting. See where every dollar is going. And finally, you can always push for a hybrid deal, where the 360 stuff only applies to the areas where the label is genuinely adding value, like maybe hooking you up with big brand partnerships.
And that, at the end of the day, is the ultimate question every artist has to ask themselves. Is this deal about sharing your success, or are you just surrendering it? Because a 360 deal, it can be sold as this amazing, powerful partnership, right? A huge investment in your entire brand. But if you're not careful, if you don't negotiate and set clear boundaries, it can easily turn into a contract where you just sign away your entire career. The devil, as always, is in the details.